Hello guys and welcome back. Today I'm going over how Moxxi could get into the weapon manufacturing business in Borderlands 3 and potentially bring back S&S Munitions with a new style. But before I get into that, I first have to thank Karina for the Moxxi artwork in the thumbnail. Her DeviantArt name is K1S3K and you will be seeing a lot more of her art, so check her out. Link to her DeviantArt will be in the description below. So with that, let's get right into it. So if you've never played Borderlands 1, I'll break down the basics of S&S Munitions. The Borderlands wiki sums it up the best. They say their weapons have greater magazine size and deeper tech pools, which is part of how the element system works in Borderlands 1, than most other manufacturers. S&S also has slightly increased damage at the expense of having long reload times. The gun themselves have a black and yellow finish. So with that in mind, to the average player, this sounds a lot like bandit weapons in Borderlands 2 and scav weapons in Borderlands the pre-sequel. Gearbox decided to ditch S&S Munitions, which gave them more room to play around with bandit weaponry, designs, and effects, more so than S&S would have, because S&S is a pretty standard gun company and design when it comes to first-person shooters. It's also implied that the bandits put them out of business with their weapons, which is why we don't really see them anymore in future games, and all the S&S properties themselves basically got transferred over to bandit besides the color. So how does Moxxi relate to this? Well, a lot of players, myself included, would like to see Moxxi create her own weapon manufacturing company. Her guns have a strong presence in the games, and she is a businesswoman after all. She had her Underdome, she has bars everywhere, and even offered to buy Torg's Arena at the end of the Torg DLC. So a Redditor had an idea to incorporate a lot of these ideas. He said, quote, "Basically I had this idea that what's left of S&S would approach Moxxi and offer to make a new line of guns based off her aftermarket modifications. Basically they think that Moxxi related to their company would help them become successful and wealthy again. The gimmick for the new line of weapons would be vampiric, you are healed when you shoot enemies. However, this would be balanced out by bad overall stats, since at this point S&S Munitions would be struggling economically, hence them not being able to make quality firearms anymore. The guns would also probably have Moxxi style color schemes to really sell the whole Moxxi gun theme, and also because you can't have two manufacturers with bright yellow color schemes unless Hyperion randomly decides to go back to red during Borderlands 3. And to reflect this, they could adopt the oh-so-clever name of S&M Munitions. And then, just as a little after thing in the text, he says, and failing all that, they could just try to merge with Bandit and become BS Munitions. So, I actually don't think that this is a bad idea at all. It'd be a great way to appease the older fans by bringing back an older weapon manufacturing company, but not making it a clone of just Bandit, or making it return with a purpose, because we don't really need two manufacturers that do the same thing. Gearbox is also very fond of the whole weapon manufacturer gimmicks, so this could actually be a really perfect match. The Moxxi style weaponry with the red-blue color scheme could be a seamless way to advance Moxxi's presence on Pandora while also adding more variations to the guns. Obviously though, this isn't the perfect solution, and there's a lot more that would need to be added to these weapons to actually make them feel unique enough to be an independent manufacturer, more than just one vampiric trait to go over all the weapons. So another Redditor replies and voices his opinions on this subject. Quote, "The problem is that doesn't solve the problem Bandit has, which is the fact that a large magazine doesn't make up for shitty stats. Vampire isn't a good enough trait to make up for it. Bandit and S&M need to be differentiated more, perhaps making Bandit weapons have poor accuracy and higher damage that causes a bleed effect, and S&M being naturally more penetrative, doing extra damage to armored enemies and penetrating multiple targets, because sex and Moxxi. Vampire and elemental effects can then be given to Moxxi's personal uniques again." So I think he sums it up, and obviously this is all just speculation and it's hard to know exactly what Gearbox is planning for the future of weapon manufacturers, if they're going to keep adding them, if they're going to do a clean slate for Borderlands 3 with all new ones that we've never seen before. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys want to see Moxxi start her own weapon manufacturing company? If so, how do you feel about her partnering with S&S to create S&M? Just because S&S lost business on Pandora doesn't mean they lost business everywhere in the universe, so they could definitely still be out there on Promethea or wherever Gearbox decides to send us for Borderlands 3. Thank you guys so much for watching, like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.